My name is Adesua Dozie.
I'm General Counsel for GE's Gas Power Systems and Services businesses for Sub-Saharan Africa. I'm also General Counsel for GE West Africa.
I am Welela Dawit. I'm the CFO of the GE Power Services business for Sub-Saharan Africa, as well as GE West Africa.
I'm Tanya Spencer. I'm the General Manager for Digital Solutions, which is part of GE Oil and Gas for Sub-Saharan Africa.
We're a good representation of the senior women in GE Africa. I'm General Counsel for the Gas Power Systems and the Services business for Sub-Saharan Africa. It's a $2 billion business, especially post the Alstom acquisition.
And myself as the CFO of the Power Services business, which contributes $1 billion of backlog a year to the General Electric company and about $500 million of operating profit annually, makes it one of the most profitable businesses globally.
And I lead one of our product companies. So Digital Solutions is part of the oil and gas business, and I actually have a counterpart that runs our surface business as another female executive. So within the oil and gas business itself, we have quite a fair number of women that are running the product companies and the business units.
I've got about 7 people who report into me, and then the broader finance organization in West Africa of about 75 people that I rely on and support.
I have 5 people that report to me, and then below them another 20 people that report into them.
I have 5 people that report to me, and I rely on for support for the entire GE legal function.
I think people are very surprised at the number of executive and senior executive women we have within GE Africa, whether it's in HR, finance, as business leaders, legal. We have a fair number of women that are really running the businesses within the region.
I think it's surprising because it's not the norm. I think we're more used to seeing skewed dynamics. So people are surprised when they see that you have these phenomenal ladies who have P&L responsibility and are really doing technical things that traditionally you'd expect to be run by a man.
I think it's very noteworthy to note that there's a high concentration of our female executive talent that's in that one country, which is a very tough place to do business in and a tough place to operate in.
The leadership throughout the region, I think, has done a great job at promoting women. And I think we as women leaders have done a good job at promoting and trying to bring women in as well. So if I look at field service engineers, women, working service leaders within the organization, especially in Nigeria and around Sub-Saharan Africa, these are not roles that I think a lot of women sign up for. The fact that we have women doing them and doing them well, I think is a testament not just to the overall leadership for GE Africa, but also the P&L leadership, the women leadership, and how we develop and really make this a focus of what we want for the organization.
I think what challenges me personally is how can we ensure that we build bench strength and we ensure that we are creating paths for the women behind us.
It's also important that as female executives that not only do we build up bench strength, I like that term, it's that we also demonstrate the example of one, paying it forward and pulling the talent upwards, but at the same time showing how to work with one another, and visibly supporting each other and being willing to be vulnerable with each other. And I think sometimes as women we put almost too much pressure on ourselves to be perfect. You've got to be you've got to be the perfect person at home, and you've got to be the perfect leader in the workplace. And because you're a woman, you think sometimes I've got to be even better because I might be getting a little bit extra scrutiny.
I mean, well, that's so important. When I talk about work-life balance, I say, that term must have been coined by a man because it really doesn't exist. No. I say my work is my life and my life is my work. I don't balance, I flex. So I don't compartmentalize my life. My life knows about my work and my work knows about my life.
One of the things we do well, and I've actually had women in the organization comment on that, is that they see us interfacing in a way that women reputationally, whether it's real or not, are not always seen in the workforce.
Absolutely.
People, the reputation, the urban legend, so to speak, is that women don't work well together, that there's always this, kind of infighting between them. And I think, it's not just with the three of us, but I'd say with the other executive women, it permeates across the organization. We have a great relationship. You know, people see us, even when we're in a very challenging business environment and people are very stressed, they'll see us go in an office, they'll see us close the door, they'll see us talk, they'll also see us laugh and interface with each other. And I think that's good for the organization to see that you can be in a stressful a stressful role, a stressful organization, a stressful market, but still have very real relationships and genuine relationships with the people. Absolutely.
Don't leave some of it at home.
Absolutely. Well, it helps that I like you people, so that's great. No, but I mean, it's also, I mean, it's our relationships are authentic because I mean, we work together, but then outside the office, we choose to also spend time together.
Right. I think we have done this quite intentionally.
Yeah.
And I have enjoyed it. I've enjoyed my GE journey. It's been remarkable, and I hope that it will continue to be.
The advice that I would give to women that would like to be in our shoes, the first thing that I always tell the women is start with yourself. You have to be healthy spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically. Make sure that you're taking care of yourself.
It's very easy sometimes to get distracted because of the work, the commitments, and all the other obligations that you have, that you put yourself last. Yeah. You put your mental health, your physical well-being, all of that stuff to the side, and it's easy to make excuses for that, but you don't realize that when you're intentionally taking care of all those things, it's actually when you're at your peak. Absolutely. Everywhere. And that's a lesson I've learned, particularly the last few years working in this region, because it can take a toll on you. It's not easy.
True. The other thing I would say is, be curious, be intellectually curious. Seek out new opportunities, ask questions, be open to expanded responsibilities. View your career very much like a jungle gym. So there are many lateral moves that will eventually lead to a horizontal move. Workforce development is critical to our business across the region. Yeah. It's key to the sustainability of the many businesses that we have across the region. If you think about transportation, gas power systems, services, oil and gas, it doesn't matter what country you're operating in, you have to have a continuous focus on workforce development.
We have a relatively young workforce as well, young to GE, and in a lot of respects, young to the workforce. So I think we have extremely technically capable people, very capable people, that don't always have the experience that we'd like them to have, or that their counterparts may have in, say, Europe or in North America. So what we can do to give them, whether it's training, helping them get broader roles and broader experience in the roles, I think that really helps with the workforce development that we do here.
Developing your workforce also makes your life easier. It does. I mean, there are two things. I mean, developing the workforce and developing that pipeline talent. One, spread skills, develop skills, which then gives you capacity to be able to focus on things that are going to continue to drive sustainability for our businesses, but then also drive growth. When we think about the journey that we've been on in this region the last few years, there was an enormous amount of focus on commercial growth, and now we're trying to focus on making sure that we can execute properly to be able to sustain that growth. And as we've had to go through that journey, we've had to focus on developing our talent to be able to do both those things, but then even commercially, while our commercial leaders now have to focus on execution issues, they still have to grow the businesses. And so they've got to ensure that they've been developing their commercial workforce to be able to be their proxy, to be able to, for them to be able to hand the baton to them so that they can continue to drive growth. So for me, I see a ton of value in workforce development because it allows me the capacity to focus on things that are going to be, what's the thing that's going to grow this business next year? And what's going to take us to the next level.
As we look at moving into even bigger and better roles, who are the people that will move in and do the roles that we have and continue to grow the business?
Yeah.